Today's planned adventure, we're still at Lassen Volcanic National Park. The south side remains closed, so we can't do any of the activities that are in that part of the park. We did find information about a place called Cinder Cone. So there's a cinder cone that's formed from a volcano back in 1650, and there's a trail that actually takes you up to the top of Cinder Cone. So we're trying to leave somewhat early today and try to beat the heat, and one of the planned activities today is to hike to the top of Cinder Cone. We're going to see if we can get it done. But before you even get to Cinder Cone, you have to drive to it.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. That was quite the drive. So you're on gravel. You're on a gravel road. Some of it is quite precarious.
Yeah.
If you're in a two-wheel drive, you're going to find it a little more. We had a truck. We had our four-wheel drive, so we were okay.
Yeah, and it was a few miles on that dirt
It was
gravel
quite a few
road.
miles. Yeah, it was quite a few miles.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what, but it was a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. It's very bumpy.
A great place to get to, but just realize it's a bit of you're not on regular asphalt to drive to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was work going on while we were going through it too. So I think they were still trying to work on the winter stuff that happened. You know, they're clearing the road a little bit, taking out trees. There was stuff going on as you're going through there. But I did see cars driving it, one or two. So you can get to it in a two-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is recommended. One of the most exciting things that I thought that we did.
I agree.
And the most strenuous.
All right, we've got the backpack filled with water in our bladders. We read on all trails, it was suggested on Cinder Cone to hike up and down with hiking poles, so we're going to bring our trekking poles with us as well. Anything else to bring in? Or
First aid kit.
First aid kit. So the parking lot here for the Cinder Cone Trail is right on the edge of Butte Lake. And if you're spending time out here, there's even more hiking trails around the lake that are available as well too. Anywhere, looking at the sign here, from 2.2 mile hikes all the way to a 9.6 mile hike that'll take you to another lake.
So we cut out day 2 specifically for this next stop, which was a hike, but the hike went to something called a cinder cone, which was a volcanic activity. Yeah. In the area, and I didn't know what a cinder cone was. I had no idea.
We had learned about this as an option of something to do when we visited the visitor center the prior day. The way that the ranger there described it sounded, hey, that might be something really interesting to do. And we had to come up with an itinerary kind of on the spot, because that first day we learned that we weren't going to be able to get to the southern section. So hiking to the Cinder Cone sounded interesting.
Yeah, so we thought we'd give it a whirl.
Yes.
It is a moderately strenuous, so it's more than moderate and less than extreme. Well, but it's pretty strenuous.
1,889 miles to Independence, Missouri. Oh, yeah. Back on a historic route. Okay.
Oh, cool. Well, we're actually on the historic route.
We are.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so what do we got here?
1.2 miles.
1.2?
The Cinder Cones.
Cinder Cone.
So this is a lava bed. It's called the Fantastic Lava Bed. Several eruptions of the adjacent Cinder Cone produce the fantastic lava beds. The glassy fragments of quartz crystal were formed as the lava cooled. More slowly cooling lava permits the formation of more numerous and larger crystals. As you start this hike, there is some signage, and it does indicate the level of difficulty is moderate to the base, strenuous to the summit. The round trip distance of this hike is 2.6 miles to the base of the Cinder Cone and 3.2 miles to the summit.
All right, so we are just about at the base of Cinder Cone in the Lassen National Forest. the walk that we've taken from the parking lot to get here, roughly about 1.2-ish miles or so, generally flat with a slight incline. And when we get back home, I'm gonna have to check what our elevation is up here, because even just this mile walk, I think both you and I were feeling a little bit huffy puffy. We feel the elevation. I think you said that climbing up Cinder Cone is going to be roughly around 500 some odd feet. There is a trail that you take there, so you don't just go anywhere you want. You take the trail. It's not exactly straight up, so that should make it a little easier to get up there. We are going to use our trekking poles. My strategy is going to be slow and steady, take breaks when we need them, and we'll see how far up we get. All right, and then because this is pretty steep, both going up and coming down, you are going to, I think, put your Nevo on, your knee brace. All right, and the knee brace does what for you?
It just supports the knee, and this area here keeps my kneecap. My kneecap has a problem. It shifts too much, so it kind of keeps my kneecap in place. So what is so special about this cinder cone? Cinder cones are one of the most common types of volcanoes, and they are formed by explosive eruptions that eject small pieces of lava, ash, and rock into the air. They then fall back to the ground and they accumulate in this cone shape. Okay, we were just informed by some young people that were coming down the very steep trail that you hit and see as you're hiking up here. And they said if you keep going a little bit, the trail splits and you can just keep going left, 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 kind of around the cinder cone. And it's a better trail. I don't think he says it's a little bit easier. It's also, this is all very loose gravel. And the walking path over there is a little bit more solid.
Yeah.
So he thought it was easier.
So again, that path you're going to catch, instead of starting your ascent where we are, down where the area is flat, you're going to veer toward your right. And then you're going to pick up your trail over there.
So, we haven't come up too far, but it's interesting to see all this, what they call cinder, that came out of this eruption in what, 1635 or something?
1650.
1650. That after this much time, after hundreds of years, all you see is one little lone pine. I think there's a few more up there, but obviously this is not something that plant life can grow on very well.
I suspect maybe 300, 400 years from now, this might be a covered mountain with more life. Who knows, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, but
it looks pretty barren.
Very barren. Oh, and then what does it feel like walking on this?
So you put your step in and you kind of go back about 3 inches. Yeah. So it's tough, it's doable, just do it slow. Unless you're an athlete, and then you can go crazy.
I could see maybe this is the place where the astronauts do their training. Maybe this is what like walking on the moon is like, walking up a mountain on the moon.
I don't know, that's a good question. The surface of the cinder cone is very interesting. It's very loose. It's sand-like. So as you're walking up this trail, and you have to stay on the trail, there's a very definite trail that you've got to stay up to go up the cinder cone. And going up the front way, you basically take a step and you slide back halfway down every time you take a step. So the difficulty is very, very strenuous.
Yeah, this was one as we were hiking up, you end up huffing and puffing, and
the incline is very, it's, I don't know, what would you say?
Steep. It's steep.
I mean, the degree of it is really steep.
Yeah. And like you said, you're not just climbing up, you're climbing up as your feet are slipping down a little bit just because of the surface isn't solid. Trekking poles do for you?
Trekking poles are fantastic. They grip, give you some help getting up, and it's good.
I think without them, you're going to probably have more slippage because you're just relying on your feet. And this is very, very loose rock. So you're able to dig the pole into the dirt and give yourself more leverage. So we saw somebody on All Trails yesterday mention highly, highly, highly recommended, I think all caps. And so we took up that recommendation, and I'm glad we did. And they're usually often really handy for going down too, especially for you. You got your knee issues.
Oh yeah.
Fairly close to the top. I don't know, 100 feet or so. But at this point, I find myself taking, I don't know, 20, 30 steps. And then I'm stopping for about 30 seconds, and I'm just pacing myself like that. My heart's beating out of my chest. I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna do it slowly. Here's another tip. When you get towards the top of this, I forget, what is it called? Cone.
Oh.
When you get toward the top of the cone, it starts to get windy. So if you're wearing a hat, make sure you have one that clips onto you, because otherwise it's gonna go flying off your head. And if it's not attached to you somehow, you gotta say bye-bye to your hat.
I just gave up.
Oh, you gave up, but it's strapped around your neck.
Yes.
Yeah. We're almost there.
Are we?
We're almost there. Yeah.
No, sometimes we do this and we look and go, oh no, there's more.
Yeah.
So let's see.
We're almost there. Okay.
So this cinder cone is an actual volcanic cone where you can actually peer into the crater once you get to the top of the cone and enjoy views of the painted dunes and this fantastic lava beds that surrounded the area. It was panoramic, beautiful. You saw forever. It was gorgeous once you got to the top of the cone. This is even all snow. This is amazing. We made it. We climbed the 500 feet up the cinder cone. The views up the trail that we took were fantastic. And if you look one way, you see this amazing, beautiful view of Mount Lassen, and it just expands. It's just gorgeous. And if you turn around the other way, you see the cinder cone, which is amazing.
All right, and there's even a trail that you can hike down into the cone. So we might see about if we're doing that.
Yes, we are.
Okay. We're told the perspective from down below is something amazing.
We're here. We can't miss that experience.
All right. So we're gonna keep on walking.
And once you got to the top too, you saw the different amazing colors on these flows that had all this different type of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like something you have to view and just, we have pictures of it, but just being there was just absolutely amazing. Everything has got these different colors to it.
Yep.
These oranges and these yellows and these red colors, and it was just beautiful. That area is known as the Painted Dunes. It was formed by the area's volcanoes. And that it has to do something with the layers of the oxidized volcanic ash that came from the volcanic crater itself. So it was just incredible.
All right, and let the descent into the cone begin.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We can do it. But when we look down into the crater itself, into its pit, once you're up there, there was moments of, should we go down because we're going to have to climb back up?
Yeah, in fact, when we were coming up, I don't know if you remember, we passed a hiker who was making a return trip, and he said, hey, when you get up there, you absolutely have to go down into the cone.
Because the views from inside the cone itself, he said, were amazing. So took a few moments for us to take a deep breath, and then we decided we're going down. And I'm glad we did. It was a different type of view. It was a different experience, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, this whole hike was, I don't think we've ever had a hike quite like this one.
No, very unique for us.
Yeah, from the kind of terrain, the difficulty level, and just the different perspectives of the volcano.
Definitely walking down into the cone is where trekking poles really come in handy, because this is like the rockiest I think it's been since we've started this walk. I've had a couple of slips, and I've been okay because I've had the poles to stop me. Without the poles, you could easily go down. So one more time, trekking poles are a good thing to have up here.
So I'm slipping already, but it's all just gravel.
That's what you're walking on.
And it's pretty deep.
Yeah.
You got these big pieces and a bunch of the little stuff underneath.
So that's your walking path here. We made it!
Wow.
I know. We made it!
Yay!
Down to the center of Cinder Cone. It's like being in an Edgar Rice Burroughs novel, Journey to the
Center of the earth.
He wrote one of those, something to the center of the earth. I think Jules Verne may have too. Yeah.
I want this part for this day. It symbolizes our trip down to the center of the earth, which is not really the center of the earth. It's very symbolic. We'll put it. Put it. There it is.
That is us.
Ah. Very cool. Wow, very different perspective. It's just a very different perspective.
Yeah.
Because everything is up. You gotta look up. But it's barren, which is just, I don't know, it gives you a different perspective of the power.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Yeah.
this thing blue.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We made it.
Well, we did it.
Yeah. Almost wasn't sure if this was going to happen. I woke up at 4 in the morning with my head was pounding, so it was Tylenol time, but that seemed to help. So we scooched out the door and walked all the way up the cone, all the way down the cone,
Well, we're getting there.
Well, we have to walk.
We walked into the center
Yeah.
of the cone.
Yeah, getting out of here is going to be interesting because coming down into the cone, there was so much give to the rock, and it's going to be an extra effort getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very amazing though. But well worth it.
Yes. Yeah, well worth it.
Yeah.
Greetings from Cinder Cone.
But it's very light.
What's going on?
It's very light. It's lava rock. It's got all the air bubbles in it, and it's just extremely light. It's ounces, maybe. I don't know.
Not a pound.
I don't think it's a pound.
Half a pound.
Half a pound. It's very light. Very cool too, and it's got some kind of sprinkly stuff when the sun hits it. Here you can see the aeration, all the gas bubbles. Very cool.
Are they most of them light?
Yeah.
Some are heavy.
Yeah.
Or no? They're all light.
Maybe if this were to break up,
Yeah.
it'd be lighter.
And now we're at the place. I could probably leave Julie here for the rest of the day because you set her anywhere where there's rocks. It's see you later.
All right, so this pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
Like, do
Do it again.
it again?
Yeah.
It's pretty light. Very cool. Very cool.
Julie in her natural habitat.
It's so cool. I mean, that is so awesome. It's very cool. Look at this one. This one's. Ah! They don't break. Like they're not like fragile. This is wow. This is like amazing. We're taking a different route down. So we're going to take a different trail down. This is on the other side of the crater. It's the trail that that young man told us about originally. So it just wraps around the crater. It's supposed to be easier. So we're going to try this. Different view too.
Remember we went down the back of the trail?
Yes.
Do you remember how fun that was?
We were doing a lot of sliding. I was doing a lot of sliding.
I was running and I would just dig in and slide, and then I'd run again and dig in and slide. I had the best
because
time.
it's all loose rock.
Yeah.
So
It was
you
so
almost
fun.
can't help but you're partly sliding down the mountain.
Yeah,
Wait.
and you're on a
Oh.
decline, so your speed kind of starts going faster and faster. And then
Yeah.
I would just dig in and I would slide. I laughed like all the way down. It was so fun.
What's your recommendation about hiking poles?
I think because of the incline, I would say absolutely recommended.
Because I did find myself almost using them like ski poles coming
Yeah.
down because I was doing so much sliding, not even on purpose.
Yeah,
So
it's a balance. When you're coming down, it's such a good balance,
Yes.
so you're not going to topple over.
It's a little slippery.
No, highly recommended.
Yeah. These really came from up there, slipping and sliding.
Disaster. Disaster on the hiking trail.
I don't even know what color it is.
What happened, Julie?
My hairband broke. And it flung somewhere. And ladies, you know what it's like to have hair in your face. It's awful. I don't see it.
Somewhere.
I don't even know what color it is. I got it.
Hey, it fell down from heaven. But it's broken.
Yeah, but let me tie it. Sort of not. All right. Cross your fingers. Oh no.
Oh, don't let it snap.
I don't think it's gonna work.
The lady has so much hair.
Oh no.
Voila.
Oh my gosh, that'll work.
Hey, she did it.
That was upsetting. After that long climb up the cone.
We spent almost half the day doing this thing because it's a bit of a walk from the parking lot to even get to the cone. A long time to get up the cone. Then we decided to go down the cone. And then we went
the crater part of it.
Yeah, and then we went around another path to get back. So I thought when we were on the hike that when we were up at the top, I thought that would be a great place to have our lunch because there was these fantastic views. And that's when I said, hey, Julie, let's sit up here and have our lunch. And you said,
What lunch? It's in the truck.
it's in the truck. So we had to walk all the way back
Yep.
to the truck. I think it's about 12:30.
Yes.
We have peanut butter and jelly.
Which is going to taste so good.
We don't eat this very often. It is one of my favorite lunches.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I love peanut butter jelly.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic and yummy.
And when you're hungry, it's really good.
This is going to taste like a gourmet feast.
I'm digging in.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. We earned this sandwich today. Good one?
Give yourself at least 3 hours to complete this trail. What you experience may vary depending on what your fitness level is, because it is physically challenging, and there are some that can't or decide not to make that kind of challenge for themselves. And that's okay. Just getting there and getting to the cone is amazing in itself. If you do want to descend to the bottom of the cone once you get to the top, give yourself a little bit more time.
Yeah, I would say doing Cinder Cone is at least a half-day experience when you consider the drive in. If you not only go to the summit, but if you go down to the bottom of the pit. So agree, like when you started, highlight of the trip.
Absolutely.
Cinder Cone, yep.
Absolutely.
Right.
We have so much fun on our adventures, and we hope you had fun too watching today's adventure as we're strolling around Lassen National Park. If you'd hit the subscribe button, you can check out future things that we do because we're always looking for a bit of an adventure.
So thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you at the places where we go.
Bye.
Is that it?
How about like thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you at the places where we go. Let's try it again.